topics or areas that we'll be covering this morning about WordPress themes. First of all, where to find themes. I would suggest, and especially if you're starting out with WordPress, start with looking for WordPress themes inside the WordPress dashboard, and I'm going to show you that in just a sec. The WordPress dashboard is what you see when you sign in to your WordPress site. Oh, that's horrible. I just noticed I have a typo here. Whoops. I apologize for that typo on that screen. And I'm going to show you, when you're inside the WordPress dashboard, some things to look for when you're searching for themes. Themes are rated. They include users' comments about the theme. And there's also forms where people that have used a theme can ask the developer of that theme questions. So these are different things I tend to glance at when I'm trying to narrow down my selection of a WordPress theme. I'm going to show that to you. Let me see, before we get into premium themes, I'm going to jump to a website here. This is just a training website that I've set up just for these purposes. So it's not going to be your normal WordPress website because I have quite a few themes installed. I don't recommend having more than your active theme installed unless you're searching and determining which theme to go with. Once you make that decision, you want to delete all these other themes. So I got to this screen by going to themes under the appearance option from the WordPress dashboard. And I mentioned on that slide that we were just at that the same themes that show up here when we do a search for example, I'm going to click on Add New to look for a new theme for this website. And I immediately see some themes and different options of themes show up. These themes correspond to the same themes that I'm going to see when I go to WordPress.org and I click on the themes option. I'm going to see the same themes listed here. Okay, now why do we care? We care because when I look at the theme from the WordPress.org site, I can find out more information about the theme. Because that's what I want to do before I decide which theme to go with. I want to know more about the theme. I want to know what other users have experienced with the theme. I want to know how they rated the theme. I want to know if the developer of the theme is actively answering questions in the form for the theme. So let me show you where I go to find that out. So let me jump back to the site where we're trying to add a theme. And let's say we want to know more about this universal theme. I'm going to jump over to the WordPress.org site, and here's the same theme sitting here. I'm going to click on More Info. And I notice here they have 2 ratings, which are very good ratings. So it's not 500 plus install. It's not real active out there. It may be fairly new, who knows? But I do observe that the number of installs is somewhat limited. I check the ratings here. And then I also want to go check the support forum. And kind of observe how the developer is supporting that. And it looks like he is. Actually, I would double check some of these that aren't listed as resolved just to see what the response is. So those are the things I look for on the WordPress.org site for any theme that I find when I'm searching for a theme from inside the WordPress dashboard. Let's finish this discussion about where to find themes, and then we'll jump more back into the WordPress dashboard and searching for themes. Other places to find premium themes. Now there's hundreds, if not thousands, of places out there to find WordPress themes on the internet. Some of the sites that I recommend and that come highly recommend, not only from me but from other WordPress gurus, are these sites that you see listed here. Elegant Themes I have used and very, very pleased with their themes. They're very what's the word I want to use? They're very supportive. They're easy to use. They rate well with other users. So I am a fan of elegant themes. Now, these are premium themes. What we see on the inside the WordPress dashboard and the WordPress.org site, they're all free. I'm going to pay some, and I would suggest if you're just starting out, play around with the free WordPress themes. I have actually seldom paid for a WordPress theme. I can usually find something that works for me from the free options. But it really does depend on your scenario and your website. But if you need to find a premium theme, these are the sites to find it. The other three that I listed here, I did use a theme from WordPresss for a while that does require a Genesis theme that kind of sits on top of. So just keep that in mind if you're considering StudioPress.com. Then the other two, I have not actually used themes from there, but they do come highly recommended. I'm also going to mention ThemeForest. ThemeForest.com also offers WordPress themes, and you're going to see people out there that highly suggest never to use ThemeForest and other ones that highly recommend ThemeForest. ThemeForest is a repository of WordPress themes developed by anybody out there that submits their theme to this repository. So what's the word? The end result of the WordPress theme can go anywhere, can be anywhere from bad to really good. It really depends on the developer and if they stuck to WordPress guidelines or if they didn't. So you're going to see a varied WordPress themes on ThemeForest and varied support options on there and support from the actual developer. And I would highly suggest if you're using a ThemeForest, a theme from ThemeForest.net, actually ThemeForest.net, to really check what the other users have said about it and if they're supporting it. In ThemeForest.net, on their site, you can get all that. You can get ratings there as well. You can see how the developer is supporting their theme. You can find a really, really good developer that will give you a really good theme. You can find just the opposite. So just keep that in mind if you're considering ThemeForest. I have used ThemeForest just maybe twice, and I've been very okay with the theme that I've used. But I was very selective in making sure that other users were pleased with it, and that theme came with high ratings as well. All right, so that's where you can find premium themes. But again, if you're starting out, I suggest sticking with free themes. You can probably find something that will meet your needs there. All right, what to look for in themes, and I see there's a question here about how do I know what themes to use. And I would say check out this list here that's on your screen now on this slide. What to look for in themes, besides looking at the users' ratings, looking at the forums, looking how the developer supports their own themes. I would also keep these things in mind. The simplicity of the theme. I have found there are some themes that they look so good when I go to the demo site or when I read about them. I install them and I'm completely lost as what the next step is to do. And it's almost because it's too bloated and it has too many features in. So I would say stick with simplicity, and especially if you're starting out. You also want to make sure the theme you use is responsive, and that means the theme looks good on a big desktop monitor and it looks great on a smartphone. So it's responsive to different sizes of devices. And that's becoming more and more important in the world for that option. I mentioned checking the ratings and reviews that other users of that theme have said. And then the features of the theme. I think sometimes, at least myself, I get too wrapped up in all these wonderful features this theme can do for me, but it adds to the complexity. So actually, before I go looking for the theme, I want in my mind, or maybe even written down, what's important to me that the theme needs to have. Maybe it's the color. Maybe it needs to handle e-commerce. Maybe it needs to be able to have a right sidebar. Maybe I need to be able to integrate forms easily. Whatever those requirements meet, or whatever the requirements are for you, just know that before you go in when you're looking for a theme. Other thing to consider when you're looking for things are customization. Excuse me. Customization options. What can you customize on the theme? And I usually like to be able to customize certain aspects of the theme, and we'll look how to do that in just a sec. And then, of course, is it SEO friendly? And I would look for that it's mentioned in the theme description somewhere that they do mention they're SEO friendly. And some of these things you really won't know until you actually install the theme and use it, and that's very okay. That's why you see on this training site that I had up just a little bit ago, I have probably 12 different themes on there as I've experimented with different themes. So don't hesitate to go ahead, especially if they're free themes, go ahead and install it, play with it a bit, and then decide if it's going to work or not. And be aware, you could spend hours and hours doing this. I recommend setting a time limit. And just find something that best meets your needs and then go with it. And you can change. I see somebody asked about this. You can change the theme after the fact. You might run into a couple things that you need to also tweak after you change a theme to make it look okay, but you certainly can change the theme after the fact. All right. Let's actually go, now that we know kind of what to look for in themes, let's look at how do we find themes. And I'm going to show you how to find themes from the WordPress dashboard. And you're going to see where you can actually look for the featured themes. So what WordPress is deciding what themes should be featured. I'll also look at the most popular themes and the latest themes that have been submitted to WordPress.org. And then we're also going to look at the feature filter where I can nail down what features are important to me and then go find those themes. I'm going to mention here, just so I don't forget, this is all from the WordPress dashboard, which I'm going to show you in just a sec. If you want to find something outside of that environment, you can just simply do a Google search. An example might be, if you have a photography site, just search for recommended photography WordPress themes, or recommended WordPress themes for photography, or whatever topic it is that your site is about, and you're guaranteed to get a lot of feedback and options to go research potential themes. But let me show you what this looks like inside the WordPress dashboard. I'm going to jump to this training site where I have inside the appearance and under themes. And by default, the first option that's going to show up here are the featured themes. And if any of these look interesting, I'll click on details and preview. It'll show me the rating here. So some of the information that's available on WordPress.org is available inside the WordPress dashboard. Not all of the information, which is why I go to WordPress.org to also see the same thing. And this gives me more information about the site. And I can do these on any of these. So these are the featured themes that WordPress.org has decided. If I want more information on a particular one, like I mentioned earlier, I can go to the WordPress.org site, go into themes, and scroll down to the same one and click on more info, so I can actually see how many installs, how it's supported by the developer, etc. Okay, let me go back to here. So that's featured. I can also search from the WordPress dashboard by popular themes. So these I know have been downloaded a lot. Actually, let's go look at the same themes over on WordPress.org and go to popular there. And for example, I'm going to skip the 20 something themes. Let's go to, I have actually used this one, 100,000 plus installs. So you know this has been used a lot out there. And it has fairly good ratings. And I would also, if I'm considering this, I would look at these ratings. You can actually read these reviews and kind of see what these 14 people, what their issues were with it, and also see why others, a good amount of people also really liked this theme. All right, so the featured We already looked at the latest themes. These are the themes that have been submitted to WordPress.org most recently. I should also mention, when a theme is submitted to WordPress.org, it has to meet certain requirements, and that's why I like to go with themes that I can find through the WordPress dashboard, because I know all these themes have met requirements that WordPress puts out there. All right, so I mentioned the latest themes. These are the ones most recently submitted, and I was talking about how when themes are submitted to WordPress.org, they have to meet certain requirements, which I like, because I know any theme that I pull from WordPress.org, it's going to be a quality theme. Favorites are the ones that you have marked as your favorite as you've looked for different themes. And then the feature filter. This is where I can specify, I'm going to narrow down all these themes by maybe color, maybe certain types of layouts, responsive to columns. And you're going to see an example of this. Some themes allow you to change more custom colors than others, meaning you can change the background of your header, you can change the text color, you can change the footer color. Other themes will change the text color. So it does vary across the board on what colors you can change within your theme. What else maybe I want? Maybe I want to be able to do with my custom header. So I can make those selections there. Click on Apply Filters. It's going to list what my filters were here, and then go out and find the themes that match those filters for themes inside the WordPress dashboard. All right, let's talk about how to install a theme now and make sure I'm not missing anything. I'm just going to go back to my slides really quick here. Let's talk about installing themes. So let's say we found a theme that we would like to use, and I don't know, we'll go with, and this always still throws me, and it will throw you as well. I see this theme that looks so nice on this little thumbnail image that I see here. I go to install it and it looks nothing like it did here when I was deciding it looked great. And that is because your themes do not come with content. And so it's only going to use your content. Now, some things provide content that you can install after the fact, or maybe even with the theme. But just be aware, just because it looks so great here doesn't mean it's going to look great on your site immediately. You would have to actually install content to make it look like that. So to install a theme that I have found through the WordPress dashboard, I simply click on Install. It's going to install it, and then to actually use it, you click on Activate. Now, I'm not going to do that yet. I'm going to show you where this is after it installs it. So it's SKT towing. Before I do that, let me go to the live preview. Just kind of see what this will look like on your own site. Okay, so that's a quick change actually. Let me go back. I'm not going to click on Save and Activate. This is just kind of showing me before I actually activate it. If I go back to Themes, remember I have way too many themes installed on this training site. I should see my SKT tone. So it's made it available now inside my themes. And if I want to use that, I could go here and then click on Activate, and it becomes my active theme. Okay, so that's how you can install and then use a theme. Now that's if I'm using a WordPress theme from the WordPress dashboard or WordPress.org. What if I find a theme from a third-party site, say from Elegant Themes? The way to install those themes is you go to Add New, and then you're going to have to select this option to upload theme, because you're bringing it from a third party. So at the third party sites, elegantthemes.com or some other site, you'll find a theme, you will download it from their site, you will get a zip file. So after you have downloaded the zip file from the third-party site, you'll upload it onto your site by clicking on Choose File. And I don't have a theme here that I'm going to actually do this with. But I would go out here. All right, so right before we had that little hiccup, I'd mentioned that when you install a third-party theme, and after you install it, you'll see it on your list here under Appearance Themes. Then to actually activate it, you'll have to click on the Activate option. All right, so that's how you install a theme. Let's go back to our little slideshow. So both how to install from WordPresss.org and how to install from a third party. Customizing theme, this is where it gets fun. Let's look at customizing themes and how to do that inside the WordPress dashboard. I'm going to go to the Customize option. And again, I'm using the 2012 theme on this particular site. So the 2012 theme lets me customize these items of the theme. And what you see inside the customizer is very dependent on the theme. So for example, under site identity, I can change the site title, which will be at the top here. Let me just add something here so you can see this. And it's going to show me a preview right away. This is the little tagline that shows up right underneath. Etc. Site icon, if I want an icon to show up here in my header, I could also change that. I'm going to go back to the original menu. So this theme allows me to change the colors of the site, but it allows me to change the header text color and then the background color. So for example, if I want to do something, I probably won't look all that great, but it's not too bad. I can change the background color. Background color is the background of the browser window, not necessarily this area of your site. So it's kind of outside of your web page content, at least in this particular theme. And I can also change the header text color. I'm going to show you another customizer with another theme here shortly, and you'll see the difference between what I can customize inside this theme versus another theme. I can also change the background image. This actually doesn't have a background image installed right now, but that is an option in this theme. Menus and widgets, these are actually, there's other ways to change these, but you can also change these inside this customizer, as we can see here. And I'm not going to get into menus and widgets at this point and what that means. I'll do another webinar on those types of things. So you make your changes here, you click Save and Publish, and then those are live on your site. So you can quickly customize your website via the Customizer option. Before I move on from this, I want to also look at Customizer under a different theme. This is a more advanced theme on my actual live website at Untitled Studios. Again, this is a free theme, but look at all the different options on this theme that I can customize. Some of them are the same. If I click on colors here, in this option, I can only change just the background color for under customizing colors. Same thing here. But down here we have more than what we saw on the previous theme. We have design options, and this can cover default layout options and other things that we see here. We have more advanced options that we can customize, and some of these require really understanding WordPress in a deeper way than what I want to touch base on this morning. But just more options here in setting up your theme. So again, the customizer lets you customize your theme, but the options available to us under customizer will be dependent on the theme. And that's often a determining factor for me when I'm looking at a theme. Is I'll go into after I install it and activate it, I'll go into customizer and see what can I really customize on this theme, and will it work for me? And that's often can be a showstopper, or can make it also can determine that, yeah, I do want to use this theme. All right, so that's how you customize a theme. The other way to customize a theme, and it's certainly a more advanced option, is to actually use CSS, cascading style sheets, to actually change colors, change sizes of text, etc. And that's a more advanced option. And I actually tend to do that not necessarily quite a bit, depending on some sites, but that's more advanced option, how you can change it. But starting out, I recommend using a theme that you can actually customize via the customizer option. Yeah, there's a question out there about CSS. I may cover CSS sometime in a future webinar, certainly not CSS to the nth degree, but at least a quick guide to CSS maybe in a webinar in the future if there's interest out there. Now to wrap this up, I'm going to also talk about deleting themes, and that's very important, especially when you're first starting out and you're experimenting with the various themes. Let me show you how to delete a theme. Back inside the WordPress dashboard, underneath themes, and this is my training site, so I have a bazillion themes installed here, so I should really delete most of them. Let me show you how to delete a theme, because it's not real obvious, because you don't see any kind of delete here of any theme that I have installed right now on the site. To actually get to where you can actually delete the theme, click on the details option, then in the bottom right, you'll have a delete option. To confirm that delete, and now that theme is gone. And I would recommend, after you decide which theme to go with, go through all your themes that you've experimented and installed on your site and go ahead and delete them. It keeps the site a lot cleaner, and you don't want to introduce any other potential variables of messing up with your site. So I do strongly recommend deleting things after the fact. And if you change a theme down the road, you go through the same process again of going out there experimenting with themes, and then deleting the ones that you don't use. All right, let's see how we're doing here. Oh yeah, I'm going to mention one other thing before we wrap this up this morning. You may go to a WordPress website or to a site that you really like how it looks and you're curious, what theme did they use? These are two websites that you can jump to actually find out what WordPress theme is being used, if they're WordPress sites. So for example, let me go to, this is what WP theme is that. I'm going to go ahead and type in my site. It's going to go kind of out there. It's going to find the site and kind of go behind the scenes and look at some of the code. Now this is very okay security wise, because this is public information, so it's not going to find anything that it shouldn't be